So you want maximum fluency for minimum effort? You've come to the right place. I'm Louisa, I'm a language coach, and it's my speciality, my passion to help people find the fast, easy, joyful path to fluency. A lot of people come to me for language coaching and they're frustrated because they've been struggling to learn a language, often for quite a long time, and they just haven't quite managed to take what they've learned in class and really internalize it and be able to express themselves naturally and fluidly in their target language. And so the first thing I say to them is we soak up language so much faster when we're listening to it or reading it in its natural context in situations that are interesting to us. So that's where school goes wrong a little bit. It's so top down. It's decided by somebody in a textbook creating office somewhere, or worse, in the government, deciding what the children need to learn by a certain age, and it becomes quite far removed from the interests of the actual people that are learning. So the thing that I always say to people is, yeah, classes are great if you're enjoying them and if you're getting results, if you're seeing progress, but we need to take it more than classes. And in fact, if I look back at the languages that I've learned, Spanish, French, Portuguese and Japanese, I learned that much in a classroom and that much from real life. Immersion in the country, in my case, but you don't have to be in the country. But what you do have to be experiencing is more ease and flow and enjoyment than you are even thinking about the fact that you're learning a language. Okay, that's just secondary. That just happens as a natural kind of nice benefit. But if you're living your life in the target language and you're doing things that are fun and enjoyable, preferably most of the time, then you will just naturally soak up the language like a sponge. And it's really quite magical to see this change in people who come to coaching, because they stop seeing it as something that they need to do, an obligation that they have to sit down and force themselves to study or to remember the grammar or the vocab lists. It's not about that at all. This is about living your life in the language. And it's not about perfection. It's not about grades or getting the perfect score or acing your exams. All of that will help, but that's not where the language learning happens the most. Most language learning actually happens inside of us, right? It happens with all of our emotions and all of our senses. So if we're trying to force the language learning in a sit down in a class situation or even on an app, it can work if we're engaged and interested, but if we're finding it hard or boring or we're just not really quite getting it, it will do more harm than good. And so in those cases, I would say the thing is to get really curious, okay, about what it is that you love, what it is that makes you you, and then bring those things into your language, into your soak it up language practice, and watch how you just become a sponge. You just learn the language like you learnt your native language as a kid. You're just open and curious, and you're making connections and seeing patterns, and you're focused more on life itself and enjoyment than actually, what am I learning here, and am I getting fluent? Am I making progress? The more we worry about how fluent we are or how much progress we're making, paradoxically, the less it's going to happen. So just set an intention right now to find more joy in your target language in whatever way feels right to you. So say you're football crazy, start watching La Liga in Spanish if that's your target language, or find some way to soak up your language by actually living your life doing that thing that you love. If you're an opera lover, then start consuming all the operas that you can in your target language. Say you're learning Italian, really soak it up with this curious mindset to piece together the parts of the puzzle that is your target language. When we are open and curious like this, the learning happens effortlessly. It starts to just accumulate really fast as well. It's like a snowball effect. So obviously the more time that you can dedicate to your target language, the better. So if you're doing it every day, multiple times a day, brilliant. And if you can dedicate large chunks of time, awesome. But if you're not, and if you're feeling resistant, just start really, really small. Get curious about your target language. Take one sentence at a time if you're really at the beginning here. So I don't speak Hindi, but here's a sentence in Hindi that I learned many, many years ago when I was a kid. Mera naam Louisa hai. Okay, Mera naam Louisa hai. It means my name is Louisa. Okay, now I don't know Hindi, but I'm guessing Mera is my, naam is name, Louisa, and then hai must be like a marker for is, something like that, or the verb is. Obviously, if we're going to take our language learning further, we need to look at more sentences and again, in that same curious way, piece them together. Oh, right, I see that hai is also used in this sentence, or naam is also used in this question. What's your name? Ah, yeah. And then the more sentences that you soak up like that, whole sentences are good, or chunks of language together, not just isolated words. That's how we'll start to piece the puzzle together more quickly and start to get a bigger picture of how it all works. And one day you'll look back and you'll go, oh, wow, I actually have internalized that language now, and it's easy and it's effortless, and I never actually put in that much effort. Enjoyment is your way in, my friend. If it's fun, if you find the joy, the learning becomes effortless and super fast. So that's all I've got for you today. Keep finding and spreading joy in the world, my friend. It makes such a difference. And goodness knows the world needs it.